Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and today we are going to make this very cute little pear card. It says we make a great pear, and it's got the little fruit on it from our New Occasions catalog. This is the New Occasions catalog. If you don't have one yet, please send me a note or make a note here and I will send you one right away. But it has some really cute things in it. This is the sweet that we're using. It's the Tutti-frutti sweet, which you gotta love it just for the name alone. We're gonna use this stamp set. We're using this We Make a Great Pear stamp here. And we're going to be using some of the designer series paper. We're also using these little punches, and these little punches are awesome. They are so adorable, little thumb punches. So let's go ahead and get started. We are also using one of my very favorite colors this season, I should say. We're using this color here, and this is our, yeah, it'd be really good if I could remember the name. All right, it'll come to me, and I'll post it for you. All right, so this is the first thing we're using here. My favorite color that I can't remember the name of. And we're also using Night of Navy. So this is just a standard card base here. This is a standard card panel in navy, and a standard card panel is really just 1/4 inch smaller than the base. So your base is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 when it's folded. You can see that here on my trusty dusty grid paper. So this is just going to be 1/4 inch smaller. So it's going to actually be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, got it? Okay, so let's just go ahead and glue that on to get started. Certainly the easy part when you have your glue working. There you go. And you don't need very much of this glue, and I am using my Tombow liquid adhesive because I love it. It just gives me an opportunity to slide things around a little bit if I need to. So that's the first step. The second step is our little piece of designer series paper. This is the back side, which is also adorbs, but this is the side we're using here. This paper comes in 6 by 6 size, and it is a great coordinating paper that goes with this fruit, but it really goes with a lot of things too. Just this pattern alone doesn't have to necessarily be fruit. But some of the paper in that pack is very much fruit. But I do want to show you a little bit on how to cut this. Let me see if I can pull some of this fruit paper for you. See, super cute. I love that one. Isn't that awesome? But if you don't want fruit necessarily, you're not stuck with it. Look at that, navy is great. And the papers do say, oh look, I've already punched a little tiny strawberry out of that paper. And you wouldn't have to be fruity on this side. The papers are 6 by 6, and they do actually list all the colors that are included in that paper on both the package and in the catalog so that you can coordinate your papers really well. Okay, so we have this set. This piece right here measures 4 1/4 by 1 1/2, and if you'll humor me, I want to teach you how to cut to get the most out of your stuff. What do you think? All right, so we're going to use our Stampin' Up! Trimmer here. Okay, you're going to get a little bit of a glare on that, and I can't do much about that. Is that better or worse? I don't know. All right, so it's 4 1/4, I said, by 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So the first thing that I'm going to do with my 6 by 6 piece of paper is go ahead and cut the 1 1/2 off. All right, so that is going to make it 4 1/2 here. The reason I know this is 6 by 6. Okay, the second thing, now this is 4 1/2. I'm going to take that 1/4 inch off. You know me, and if you've ever come to any of my in-person classes, you know I'm not going to waste that. That's a cute little piece, and that would definitely be something that I could use another time. But in the meantime, I need a bunch of 1 1/2 pieces. So it's 6 to start. I rotated it, so it's 6 to start. So we know the next one is 4 1/2, right? And then 3, and you just back out the whole thing, and then 1 1/2, and you don't have to keep loading it into your trimmer. And here's 4, right? So far we've gotten 4 out of that one piece. Then this is the 1 1/2 already that we cut off initially. We're going to make it 4 1/4, right? Because that's what we needed. Am I right here? Yeah, okay. All right, so we have this little rectangle. What would we do? We don't want to waste it. You never want to waste your designer series paper. So what did I do with it? Well, that's where I punched out my little pears. So here's my pear punch, and I can just punch my pears out. The only thing that's important to remember when you're punching your pears out is make sure with your, since this is a directional paper, you don't want to, you know, do your next one like this. You want all your little grids to go up and down and not sideways, and I can get lots of little pears out of that. But I only need 3 for now. So anyway, that is how I would cut this piece of paper, and that would give me 5 of those pieces, and I'm ready to make a whole bunch of these cards. And I have a couple of cohort friends that I think those would be perfect for, so that'll work for me. All right, so I've already glued the base on, and now I'm just going to glue this piece on here. Again, a little liquid glue. Now, generally, if I'm crafting, I'm gonna, when I set that glue down, I'm gonna just drop that cap right on top. And the reason that I do that, this glue, as awesome as it is, it will clog a little bit if you leave it uncapped. Now, don't forget that I've taught you that the dental floss threaders that we use to thread buttons with ribbon and tie things, they actually are the perfect width to stick in there and unclog your glue. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is, so that part is set, is stamp this. So this is a 3x3 little piece of paper, and I've got another little trick for you. This is my stamp set here, and I'm going to pull off the We Make a Great Pear. And generally I would stamp it in Versamark so that it doesn't get stained, but because this is such a light color, it actually is not going to get stained. But here is a trick. I'm going to use the grid lines on here, and I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to stamp it, let's say, right on this dark grid. Okay, and I want to make it straight like that. Because if I just try to put it on my block, chances are I could bend it a little, or that's one of the beauties of it, but it's also, if you don't want it to bend, it's one of the disadvantages of photopolymers. So to solve that, you just put it down as if you were writing it right there. I'm going to use that line. And then I'm just going to put my block right on top. Okay, and now it's ready to stamp. And that color that I couldn't think of before is Lemon Lime Twist. And how do I know? Well, it's the ink I'm using too. So I'm going to set my ink down here, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. There it is there. And I do use my grid paper for a lot of cool things. This is going to be pretty close to the bottom. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, knot, rock, and lift. I do want to remind you, when you're using photopolymer stamps like this, you are going to want to try and use a pad underneath one of the Stampin' Pierce mats. It will just give you generally a better image. This wasn't a really solid image, so I didn't have to worry too much about that. It wasn't going to be a big problem. Okay, and now I'm going to tie a bow, and I'm going to use my bow maker. I was out of these. I had somebody request one, and then I went to get one to mail to her, and I was out. So my customer's husband makes these for me, and if you'd like one, then message me below and I'll contact you. And I have some more in stock now, so I promise it will not take so long. But anyway, you're going to take your gingham ribbon. This gingham ribbon is in the annual catalog. It's not in the occasions catalog. Wrap it behind, go over the top, between the legs. There we go. I've got all kinds of sticky on my fingers. There we go. And to the back. And now I'm just going to tie it. One little tie. I'm going to make it a little, give myself a little more space. A little more wiggle room. You want to make sure that you're pulling straight out. Don't twist these. You're going to pull straight out from the ears. I call these the ears. You're going to pull straight out from the ears and wiggle, wiggle. That's a quick version. Look at that. It makes the cutest little bows. If you have a bow maker and you don't remember how to make these bows, don't worry. I do have a video, so be sure that you subscribe. But I do have a video that shows you how to make it from the side, you know, kind of this way, so you can really see what's going on. So you're going to go ahead, and I never cut my ribbon off until it's pretty much all said and done. All right, so here I'm going to fold this back. You generally don't want to get any bulk. If you can help it, you don't want to get a whole lot of bulk behind your card back here. So that's way more than I would normally have. I would normally trim that down. But since I'm doing it for you, and you don't seem to mind because you're awfully quiet, I can just do it this way. Now I'll cut it off. Now I know exactly how much ribbon I need. And as you can see, I haven't really wasted any from my roll. And that way I can get those 5 cards that I so conveniently cut all the parts out for. I can get those there, and I will have plenty of space. Now, little pears, a trick for you also. Oh, one snuck away. Okay, a little trick for you also. We are going to use the mini tiny itty bitty dimensionals. These are great. We used to have to cut our dimensionals, if you remember, ladies, back in the day. We had to cut down our dimensionals so that we would have these little things like this. But since we have these minis, we don't have to do that anymore. It's so easy. Okay, now I want to put them on here, and I do want to get them as close to centered as I can. So here is my awesome trick for you. I take a strip of paper. This is just the paper that was left over when I trimmed my panels from the 8.5 by 11. I'm going to take this paper, and I'm going to just, you can see I just kind of can lay it up there. I had a little ridge, so I'm just going to lay it like this. And now I know where to put the tops of my pears, and that way they're going to be kind of straight. And it's intuitive to start at one side and kind of work your way across. Oh, much better. It's intuitive to put one here and then kind of work your way across. But if you really want to get them spaced out the right way, what you can do is put your first one on. Oh, I made him a little crooked. Okay, put your first one on, and then when you go to put your next one on, look at, I'm like jiggly. I need to slow down on the coffee. All right, when you go to put your next one on, instead of trying to put it in the middle, put it over here on your other side, about the same distance from your edge. So see, that's about most of a thumb. Okay, so that's about right. And now all I have to do is stick this third one in the middle. Those are a little spread out for what I would normally do, but it'll work. You're getting the idea. Okay, so then I can just kind of eyeball this now and set it in the middle, and it's going to be pretty straight. And now this just gets glued on there. So you've had a couple of craft hacks here. You saw how to cut. You did see the bow, and then you saw how to center things a little bit better, especially when you're doing a little, whew, that would have been upside down, when you're doing a little series of them like that. Okay, that is it. I'm going to stick a white panel on the inside. You don't have to stick around for that because that's just a little bit of glue right in here. And lemon lime twist, that's the green. Don't forget it. You're going to see a lot of it with me because I love it. And there's your card for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this card. Keep a lookout because I have a couple more to share with you, and I hope to share some more good tips for you. So please subscribe below. And if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. So please just give me a shout and I will send you out a catalog. Oh, also, I almost forgot to tell you, and I will tell you this while we're sitting here. It is celebration. So with every $50 you order from the catalog, and it can be this new catalog or it could be even our annual catalog or a combination, you get to pick something out of the celebration catalog, which I will show you, I promise, next time. But this Tutti-frutti Sweet, for example, that we just used, if you got the bundle, which would be the stamps and the little punches together, that would be $35. And if you got the paper, that's $10, that's $45. And you could get some ribbon, that would put you over the $55 mark. And then you could pick something out of the celebration catalog free. So now, between now and the end of March. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.